Welcome, seekers of wisdom. Today, we embark on a philosophical journey to explore a timeless question. How can we become more confident? Not in the shallow, performative sense often marketed to us, but in the deeper, enduring sense that aligns with the soul's harmony. To understand confidence is to understand the self. And who better to guide us than the great thinkers of the past: Socrates, Nietzsche, Simone de Beauvoir, Marcus Aurelius, and many others. Their wisdom offers us not shortcuts but substance, principles, and practices tested by centuries of human striving. Let us begin with Socrates, who said, "Know thyself. This is the foundation of true confidence. It is not bravado or self-delusion, it is clarity. When you know what you value, what you fear, what you're striving toward, then you become grounded. The winds of external judgment cannot shake you." Socrates was executed for corrupting the youth in impiety, not because he lacked confidence, but because his confidence lay in his commitment to truth and virtue. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, taught that we must distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. He wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This separation of inner power from outer chaos is the Stoics' secret. Confidence arises when we internalize this. You cannot control outcome, but you can control your effort, your attitude, and your principles. Like a ship anchored in a storm, you may rock, but you do not drift. Now, consider the Renaissance thinker Michel de Montaigne. He famously said, "The greatest thing in the world is to know how to belong to oneself." Montaigne was suspicious of certainty and arrogant knowledge, but he advocated for introspection, for writing, for questioning one's own beliefs. Confidence, then, does not come from knowing everything but from being at ease with the unknown, with imperfection, with your own humanity. Confidence also requires action, not just reflection. As Aristotle wrote, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. To become confident, you must live confidently not once, but habitually. Speak even when your voice shakes. Show up even when you're unsure. In this consistency lies character. Friedrich Nietzsche, the fiery German philosopher, warned against the herd mentality and urged each person to become who you are. This was not a license for indulgence, but a summons to authenticity. Nietzschean confidence is not comfort, it is courage. It is the willingness to stand alone for your values, to become the sculptor of your own soul. As he put it, one must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star. Let us not ignore the wisdom of Simone de Beauvoir, who recognized that confidence, particularly for women, has been historically undermined by cultural structures. She said, "One is not born, but rather becomes a woman. Confidence is not inherited, it is built, chosen, reclaimed." This is true for all people. Confidence must be constructed in the face of resistance, not only from the outside world but from the inner critic. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, gives us another image of quiet strength. In his Meditations, never meant for publication, he wrote to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." His empire was vast, but he sought mastery over one territory, his own soul. Let's now move to practices, deeply philosophical, that cultivate inner strength. Contemplation over affirmation. Instead of chanting, "I am enough," ask, "What does it mean to live well?" Reflect deeply. Write, meditate, seek inner alignment, not empty slogans. Memento mori. Remember your mortality. As the Stoics said, death is not the enemy, it is the teacher. When you internalize your finitude, trivial fears dissolve. The opinions of others lose their grip. Negative visualization. Imagine losing what you cherish, your health, your time, your position. This Stoic practice breeds gratitude and resilience. Confidence blooms in the soil of appreciation and preparation. Live by a code. The samurai had Bushido. The Stoics had virtue. What do you live by? Define your code. Confidence comes not from results, but from congruence between belief and behavior. Amor fati. Not grudging acceptance, but a bold yes to life. Nietzsche invites us to embrace hardship as fuel, not failure. When suffering has meaning, fear retreats. Seek solitude. As Pascal observed, all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Solitude clarifies, silence sharpens. Confidence grows in communion with one's own soul. Cultivate virtue. Plato defined virtue as the soul in harmony. Are your actions just? Are your words temperate? Do you exhibit courage? These are the building blocks of a life well lived and a life confidently lived. Read philosophy aloud. Reading the words of the great thinkers aloud slows the mind and stirs the spirit. It cultivates presence and gives you access to the language of the soul. Begin each morning with a paragraph from Aurelius or Epictetus or Confucius. Let it set the tone for your day. Walk and think. Aristotle taught in the Lyceum while walking. Walking clears the mind and stimulates thought. Let your feet guide your inner inquiry. Walking meditation can unlock clarity that sitting still sometimes cannot. Mentor others. Confidence is not selfish. When we teach, guide, or support others, we mirror back strength to ourselves. As Seneca said, While we teach, we learn. Let us reflect now on failure. The great Roman Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Failure is not a detour, it is the path. Confidence is not never falling, it is rising, again and again, with dignity. Consider also the words of Carl Jung. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. The journey to confidence is not a straight line, it is a spiral one that deepens with each revolution. You will revisit the same fears, the same doubts, but you will face them differently each time. That is progress. Let us not confuse confidence with volume. In a noisy world, confidence may appear quiet, even invisible. It is the monk in the monastery, the poet with the pen, the philosopher in dialogue with doubt. Confidence whispers, "I am enough, not to others but to the self." And remember, confidence does not require an audience. It does not seek applause. It is forged in solitude, in silence, in sincerity. It is the result of listening more than speaking, of reading more than boasting, of giving more than demanding. Take your inspiration not from influencers, but from the truly influential, from Aurelius to Teresa of Avila, from Rumi to Lao Tzu. Their words echo through time not because they shouted but because they spoke truth from the core of their being. As we close this reflection, consider this. Do not seek to impress, seek to express. Do not seek applause, seek truth. Do not seek confidence as an outcome. Seek it as a consequence of living with intention, courage, and virtue. Thank you for joining me. May you read the old books, may you sit with your fears, may you walk toward your purpose not with swagger, but with steadiness. Be well, be wise, be whole.